The evil genius green lantern is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Deeper,
The champ is
alive.
here. The champ is here.
Fucking with the champion.
You already.
Welcome back to another episode of the Mutltiverse Podcast. This episode is all about the boxing match that just took place between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. I was really excited for this fight, but it was on pretty late, so I actually fell asleep the first day that it aired. But because it's on Netflix, obviously I was able to catch it the next day. And I was actually very surprised. I was surprised at how like Canelo Alvarez got beat up by Terence Crawford. And in analyzing the fight, Canelo is the more traditional, the more technical, the more orthodox fighter. But Terence Crawford's just like a more talented boxer. He's quicker. He's stronger. He's a little bit bigger. He's faster. He's got better endurance. Canelo showed his age a little bit, like he just looked old and like beat down. But he wasn't throwing the combinations that Terence Crawford was. Terence Crawford was looking like Street Fighter out there, throwing like super combinations. And Canelo just seemed not ready for it, or just a step too slow. And it was a very entertaining fight. It was really just like a solid fight between two competitive boxers, neither of which are a joke. Terence Crawford is just so good. He's the best in the world, obviously. And Canelo made that remark that he's even better, that Terence Crawford is even better than Floyd, which I don't know about that. Floyd is the greatest, probably the most technically sound defensive fighter of all time, I would say. But Terence Crawford is really good, and he does deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as Floyd. That being said, I'm not sure if he could actually beat Floyd. But I will say this, that the big draw of boxing is the heavyweight division. These sort of small guy fights are fun, but they don't have the gravitas that a heavyweight fight with two heavy hitters. We saw the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, and that obviously drew so many viewers because Jake Paul is kind of a joke, but Mike Tyson, even in his old geriatric state at 60 plus years old, he's still the Mike Tyson name, and people still remember him from the 90s, the electrifying fighter that he was. And that's why it had it was so popular. But the mockery that Jake Paul is making of the heavyweight division aside, the heavyweight division is the big draw of boxing. And these small guy fights, I'm a boxer myself. I was a boxing consultant, special ability talent for all of the Creed films, and I got to work on those films and give my input and be behind the scenes with my boxing knowledge. I would fight probably at light heavyweight. I'm about 270 right now, so I'd have to lose quite a bit of weight. But even light heavyweight, that division, that's not the main draw of boxing. The main draw of boxing is the heavyweight guys, and these guys like Crawford and Alvarez at full grown men at 5'8", 5'7", 165 pounds. Those are middle school sizes. I was literally that size in middle school. So as technical and sound as these boxers are, that's not the big draw of boxing. Big draw of boxing, everybody wants to see the heavyweight division. The Evander Holyfields, the Mike Tysons, those guys. Even Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was a good fight. Vladimir Klitschko and all these guys, Lennox Lewis. But that's the history of boxing, and that is the future of boxing. Boxing wants to make a full comeback. They're going to need the talented guys of the heavyweight division to really step up. because that's what it's about. And so, the Terrence Crawford, he's obviously really great. I don't want to take anything away from these guys. Canelo, really great. But it doesn't have the weight of the heavyweight division. And I wanted to, quickly segue to, what's going on in the political climate right now. Everybody's mentioning, free speech being under attack. And obviously, this is a podcast, heavily believe in free speech. Free speech is not a license for hate speech. Those are not the same thing. Okay, everybody has to be respectful. Everybody has to maintain a level of decorum. Just that's the way a functioning society works. Without it, that respect and that decorum, things start to, denigrate from there. So, I just remind everybody to have humility. And, quick lesson from boxing is the difference between boxing and other sports is nobody plays boxing. It's a fight. People get knocked out for real. People play football. People play basketball. But nobody plays boxing. It's a real fight. As Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. And that's real. That's the difference between boxing. Is if you're not humble, you can get humbled really, really quick. And that's a lesson for life as well, is to have this humility and a sense of decorum and respect when, discussing things. And that's my message. Anyway, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, tuning in. Signing off. You stay classy. Stay classy. And I mean that. Take care.